Oh, I got the sleepiest kitty on me. What am I to do? I'm going to carry forth with my challenge and opportunity. Anyway, I went to Costco the other day, and there's nothing more spiritual. There's nothing more spiritually challenging than going to Costco, which is, even the second you get into the parking lot, you're suddenly faced with almost every conceivable challenge. So when I go to Costco, I like to pop my Apple earbuds in and listen to something uh, uplifting or illuminating. And I managed to find a nice piece about Carl Jung, the great psychoanalyst, thinker of the 20th century. We all know Carl Jung and many of his principles and ideas and practices. But among many of his profound ideas, in my humble opinion, is this idea of individuation. And uh, I guess, simply put, in a nutshell, it's this necessity, it's this conscious evolution where we find our true selves. We come up out of the collective, which is a certainty. We're all part of the collective. And then there's a necessary phase of our psychological, emotional, spiritual development where we individuate, we become who we are, the authentic, unique, personal version of being that each and every one of us represent. Now, this is not to say that everybody undergoes this individuation. Just because it's available doesn't mean that everybody does it. Now, it was his thought that if we didn't undergo this development, this conscious elevation of who we are and become an individual, that we would become what the world says we are. In other words, yesterday we talked about asking ourselves, who am I? And coming up with some answers. But if we never ask that question, if we don't say who we are, the world will tell us who we are. We need to let that sink in. If we don't say, and we have the capacity to say who we are, the world most assuredly tells us who we are. It tells us what to think, where to go, where to fit in, what religion to believe, what religion not to believe, what economic system to agree with, what politics, what recreation. And the influence of the world on us is so strong that it can overwhelm our self, and individuation never occurs. And it was Carl Jung's considered opinion that humankind at this phase of their development, most humans were avoiding or postponing or dismissing this necessity of individuation, this saying and finding who they really are. And that in the absence of doing that, unseen and hidden forces would operate within us that would color and often discolor our experience of living. And that unless we went through this process of authentically becoming who we are, that we would simply miss that opportunity. And so yesterday, when I mentioned this practice of asking ourselves who we are, maybe that's a brand new process, or maybe that's confusing, or maybe we come up with answers that seem incomplete or confusing, but that's okay. We're exercising our own capacity to say who I am. Like for myself, if I say, I am strong, healthy, limber, flexible, and outstandingly, gloriously happy, huh, I just said who I am. Now, did the world necessarily teach me that when I was growing up? Not necessarily. That's sort of a development, an evolution, you might say, of who it is that I say that I am. Who is it that you say that you are? And as we come up with these answers and this developing thought and conception of who we are, we begin to live that. And as we do that, we gain more power. And the more we say who we are, then the more capacity we get to continue to evolve, to declare, and to demonstrate who we are. So by all means, individuate. I know all of you are. You wouldn't be involved in a meditation or a class or a discussion like this if you weren't deeply involved in this authentic process of saying who you are and who you're becoming and who you want to be and what your intuitive sense of who you are is. So, congratulations on that. My cat listened to the whole affair because he is a calm and peaceful cat. And I'll see you all tomorrow and we can talk about what we talked about this week. Bye bye.